Welcome everyone, I'm Chef Nina Vitri, and today we're at the beautiful property of Bohemia Manor Farm, and we're going to make my amazing harvest pork chop with a caramelized onion, green apple, and the butternut squash. Now, when cooking or roasting the butternut squash, what I highly recommend is when you go to your local grocery store, always get it already cut or chopped up, because this, for me, I don't even want to chop it. So what I like to do to start my harvest pork chops, I always roast them up with a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, and I'm going to put that on the side for about a half hour. Or if I'm just prancing around the kitchen and just doing a few other things, I know that when I'm ready to whip up my pork chops, my roasted butternut squash is already ready to go. I love these cast iron pans. They're so durable. They really hold in a lot of heat, and they're universal. I can put them in the oven. I can cook them on the stove. There's a lot that we can do with them. A nice coating of extra virgin olive oil. Now that we turned on our Dutch oven on medium heat, we really want that oil to heat up real nice, because we are going to brown our pork chops. With, of course, can't ever forget that salt and pepper. But before we brown these, what I want to do is we're gonna caramel up that red onion. And as soon as you hear that sizzle, you know we're ready to go. Right away. Love it. When I know that that onion is so good, it's translucent, and it's gonna taste like a soft peach, because you know how onions can have that bitter taste. And of course, using a red onion, that's naturally gonna have that flavor regardless. So we're really gonna cook that down with a green apple. And then throw in that apricot and peach jam. What I'm gonna do next is I'm going to put these pork chops in. I'm gonna turn my heat back up to medium. And we're gonna brown these delicious pork chops. And that's okay if some of the pork chop is on top of the apples and the onions. That's totally okay, right? And then we're gonna spread all this around. Caramelized here. And then you know that we already have our butternut squash roasted and ready to go. Wow, look at that. So I'm gonna put this all on here. Wow. And the reason why I like to cook this butternut squash before my pork chops is because, you know, pork chops really don't take that long to cook, especially in the oven, because this gets super, super hot. All right, and you know what time it is. I'm going to add in this amazing wine, of course, from Bohemia Manor Farm, and it's the Sweet Blush. So the reason why I like to use a lighter wine is we all know that a pork chop can be dry, so we don't want our pork chop to be any drier. So I'm going to pour a little bit of wine in here. We know any wine that you can drink with that's going to be delicious to serve to your guests, of course you're going to want to cook with it. So any times a friend of mine will say, oh, what kind of wine do you like to cook with? And I say, well, if you can drink with it and enjoy a glass of wine, then you can certainly cook with it. So I'm going to flip these pork chops over now. All right, so now that we have roasted nicely our pork chops, give them a really good sear. If you notice, I don't have a lot of liquid in here because I don't want to boil our pork chops. So just a nice little thin layer of a little olive oil and a wine of your choice, and we'll be good to go. All right, well, you know what time it is. It's time for that one dish to go into the oven. And what I did is I just turned the oven on to 400. Now remember, what I always say at the end of a recipe, the hotter the temp, the hotter the texture is going to be on top. And what is that old time saying that they say is, set it and forget it? Well, my phrase is the one dish. And we just whipped up a delicious harvest pork chop with the caramelized butternut squash, the apples, you name it, it's in there. So Sarah's probably going to be here any minute. I'm going to get some wine glasses out, and her and I are going to do our table talk with wine. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching me whip up this delicious harvest pork chop. And before I bring that out of the oven, I'm going to now bring out one of my special guests, as I was on her show up in New York, Living Abundantly on the Sarah V Show. So I think I hear her. I think I just heard her pop in, little beep, beep. Hello. Thank you so much for coming out here, and I whipped up a delicious dinner for us. So we are going to try some amazing wine from Bohemia Manor. It's their Sweet Blush.